The next chapter was on self-regulation, and you've just spoken about that, but I'm wondering if you could maybe just talk quickly, because one of the big things that I took away from that chapter, Mello, was when we are able to self-regulate using the breath, amongst other techniques, it creates space.
Yes.
And that is so powerful, everybody, because it stops the instant reaction to things that we encounter. And so I'm wondering if you can maybe just talk about space, and maybe even if you want to use a story, it's up to you. The machine guns in your ribs was just out of this.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, it is like self-regulation. There's many different self-regulation techniques we can use, and my go-to is the breath, and it is one thing that we have on us all the time, so we can always use that. There's a variety of different breathing techniques you can use, like we said, that sighing one, or just a long exhale, or more invigorating breath. So there's a whole series of them. But the other one is also through the body. There's two things that are always in the present moment, and one is the breath, and the other is the body.
Yeah.
So we use the body as a portal to access the present moment, because many of the times when we're stressed and we're anxious and we're getting these thoughts and things going through our mind, we're just in our head.
Right.
So we want to actually drop out of our head and into our body, and the senses are one of the best portals. So even if you were feeling stressed and you just popped up for a moment and asked yourself, what do I hear right now? What do I smell right now? What do I feel right now? All these senses are a good way for you to access the present moment and come back to the present moment through your body and breath. I often ask the question, in my seminars and workshops, and it's a long discussion. We don't have scope to do the full discussion here, but is it possible to feel anxious and be fully present at the same time?
Right.
Is it possible? Like, if you really think about that, probably not, because if you're anxious, you're usually anxious about something in the future, or you're overwhelmed about something. So becoming present is a great way to self-regulate and to bring yourself back to the present moment. And using all these tools are a great portal to get back to the now. And exactly what you're saying there with that space there. So, you could be in a heated meeting, let's say, and you're feeling a bit stressed or overwhelmed, or you're just feeling a bit overstimulated. Typically, there's a stimulus, something that stimulates us, and there's a reaction to it. And usually it's like that stimulus response. It's quick, and we just get this reaction, or a physiological reaction, or even an emotional reaction. So that's what normal sort of life is, especially when we're stressed and busy. When we start practicing mindfulness techniques, we start working on breath techniques, even if it is just taking 3 breaths, we start creating space between that stimulus and response.
Right.
And if you ask me personally, like on that note, I've been practicing meditation for 30 plus years and have not missed a day forever. And often people ask me, what do you practice, and what do you get out of it? And what's the one thing that you get out of it? When I think about it, what it does, it helps me to create space between stimulus and response.
Yes.
So then I can make a mindful decision. I can make choices. I can stop and I can pause. I can look at the bigger picture. So the more that I meditate, the more that I practice these mindfulness practice, the space becomes bigger.
Right. It's just a beautiful way of describing it, Mello. It's been my experience, and everybody. I was working with a client recently, and he's sort of like in a gang, and he has that sort of like bravado and power, but he's really struggling. And when I was showing him this, and I said to him, this space, this ability to choose rather than reacting, that's the real power.
Yes.
Your ability to be flexible enough to decide how you will respond rather than just simply reacting to the stimulus. I said to him, is it because it's all about the bling and the is there a price on that? Can you is there any money that you can put on that? I don't think there is, in my opinion. So yes.
No. And it could be the space of one breath. It could be somebody says something to you that harms you, or is not a nice comment. If you just take one breath in and out, it's enough. That pause is quite powerful. So whatever you can do to create that space is really powerful.
Indeed. And so being aware of your body and body scan techniques, and being aware of the things around you, really important.